When it comes to lighting for virtual projection, you have to keep a lot of things in mind. You have to rebuild inside the studio the light which is matching perfectly your background, because this is so important that this has to come together. It really looks annoying when the background has a different light than your real set inside the studio. So therefore you have to do a lot of things. And for interior shoots it's not as complicated, but for exterior shoot, especially daylight and sunlight, you have to rebuild a light which looks like sunlight. And I tried a lot of things with traditional light. I was not happy at the end. But with the dedolight Lightstream system, I had the first time the feeling that now I have infinity lighting inside my studio. It looks like sunlight, like a light source which is really, really far away. And when you are shooting action scenes, like driving scenes inside the studio, then it's important to have a light which is really matching your background. So if you're driving through a forest and the light is changing all the time, the color is changing, you can use the Chroma Link app, which is a live tracking system to your lights inside the studio. So you can now track your background and the lights in studio simultaneously change in color, in brightness levels, and this is great. This is absolutely great. It should not look like a background and a foreground. This has to come together, and this is important, and it's so easy with the systems of dedolights.
When we create virtual worlds, we need to keep in mind that we need to be able to replicate what we're seeing on the screen in a studio, in a filming environment. So we need to have the tools to be able to do that. We need the proper lights, we need the proper cameras, we need movement. It all needs to combine to give the illusion of being a real set. Nobody wants to say, oh, that's done in a virtual environment. You want to say, hey, that looks perfect. So, what we're looking for in our lighting setup is the tools like the dedolight Lightstream system that will help us do that as efficiently and as quickly and as easily as possible. Now, these lights from dedolight, it doesn't matter if we're doing effect lighting, whether we're doing daylight, sunlight, streaming in. We can recreate all of this stuff very, very quickly and very, very easily with very few lights. So that gives us the ability to make very opulent, large looking sets in a very, very small studio. I think that's a great advantage to using this system. There's nothing worse than spending ages and ages working with unsuitable lights, trying to match these colors. We can do it in a one click with an app, and we've got this matching look everywhere.
A beautiful and very green system is the whole reflector system. And reflectors are extremely old. People have been using reflectors forever. But now we have the chance to use these reflectors in many, many, many different ways. And for this purpose, what we need is parallel light. And it's interesting because I've always been intrigued by this kind of technology. And for a long time, we didn't have the right fixtures. We didn't have the right lighting equipment for these reflectors. And now there's a whole technology that's been evolved quite a bit when it comes to this beautifully new system. So the new solution, which is basically not really new, but we can do it in a much better way now because we have a much better technology, is you install all these reflectors or several reflectors in one space, even if it is a very confined space. And then all you need is one light that will illuminate all these different reflectors, creating several lighting sources in one single room or in one single space. And still, using this technology, you will create the illusion that the light is coming from much further away. So that's where the reflectors really have an incredible advantage. Why? Because we have our light source. It's somewhere way behind. The light source hits the reflector, which becomes an additional light source, but we have created a huge distance, and this distance creates the illusion of infinity lighting. By using all these technologies, we're cutting down dramatically our power consumption. We need less equipment, and still we have more options, more possibilities, more light, and this is the future.